Mm. All right. We are just one day away. Watch live March 18th, 2:30 p.m. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. It's one of those days that it's Tuesday, so I mean we're still in the week, so bunch of things going on as you can tell. Welcome, welcome. We got the notification. Let's go. I love to hear that, brother. You don't want to miss it, everybody. We're live again. Trump's about to speak from the Oval Office, so why not? It's gonna be a lot of Q&As. I missed one of those actually. I actually missed one of those conversations with a head of state. In this case, when I hear from Ireland, and I wonder why today. I wonder why. You guys know in the chat. So it is St. Patrick's Day, if I'm not mistaken. St. Patrick's Day. Good morning and welcome. As always, my NFA at the very beginning. This video is for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only, right? Do your own research. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that a lot. How we doing? So Republicans were just speaking moments ago, and in Washington D.C. there's a lot of things going on, of course. So yeah, I wasn't live for that, but government is always working right now. Thankfully, it's always working right now because they just like to, spend taxpayer money. Sometimes, a lot of the times. Go ahead and do this. Do this. There you go. Perfect. Let's freaking go, Matrix says. Of course. Feeling bullish. Nice. So yesterday, guys, we got 160. Can you believe that? 160 price, fam. The 160. We did it at 9:45 p.m. I saw it on my watch, and I'm like, okay, 160 per XRP. I'll take it. I mean, that's a pretty good price for XRP 160. I mean, 130s to 160. A lot of people made some decent money. Now came down, of course. People decided to sell. People decided to put profits first, and there it is. That's the only reason why it's down, right? Let me go ahead and show you this. We'll go to the 4 hours, guys. Look at that. So we are still in pace, on track. We're doing good. I wouldn't say that this is a major setback. It is not a major setback. Welcome to all the new subscribers. How we feeling, guys? Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Coming at you with the latest, of course. We'll be here for a while. Good morning, Ghost. Orion Reacts. It's been a while, man. Cyber, TJ, Planets. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Howdy. Let's go. So, yeah, 111 right here. Hey, buddy. Nice, Orion. Love to see you, brother. It was at the very beginning of February. We got 111 per XRP. That was pretty nasty. You want to know the truth. It was devastating for a lot of people. So we're looking at a 44% return so far for XRP within the last, we'll talk about 38, 40 days. Not bad. Now 40%, something pretty nice. I mean, you're making decent amount of money if you're trading. Obviously, assuming that you got somewhere in the 120s and you left somewhere around the 150s, that still is about 20 to 30%, fam. That's not bad. So 20 to 30%, what we call swing trading. Now, all people are invited to hold and just don't sell, right? Until later, right? Until later. You can always do that. You're more than welcome to do that, but it's just up to you. We got Bravo in the house with a massive membership. Welcome, sir. So happy to see you. Everybody knows Bravo right now. Just great people, man. You guys got it. Very good. Very good. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I think YouTube is doing a really good job today to tell people that we're here, right? I think little by little by little, we're going to start seeing more people come into the spaces. And we love that. We love that. We really do. So very nice, bro. Very nice. TJ says coffee on hand or in hand. I actually have my Stanley in hand. Just water, guys. Yesterday I went to the gym. I'm getting, good looking. I'm actually doing really well right now. Yeah. But that's another conversation. That's another conversation. All I'm saying is, it's always a great time to stay in shape. Money is great, right? Obviously, you want to make some great bank, but also remember, either you take care of yourself right now, or you end up paying and using your money to keep you alive. I talk like this to my friends, to the people who know me, and I'm always very tough with them, right? Because I'm like, dude, come on, stay in shape. Like, get out, go work out. It's just the way it is. That's the way I see it. I really believe it. I'm no longer 20, right? When I was 20, I could eat garbage, and that was okay. But not anymore. So we do gotta, stay pretty powerful right here, which we like it. We like it. Health before wealth. That, my friends, is the legend, the one and only Coin Baron in the house. If you want to know more about Kronos and Crypto.com, you go to him, you come to me, and you go to X, because you're going to find the Crow fam on X a lot of the times, right? So thank you, brother. Vincent in the house, welcome, of course. In minutes even, nice. So I'm watching Fox, and they're at the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's pretty nice, right? St. Patrick's. So we have reached March 17th. Watching right there. And yeah, I mean, it's just fun, A day that people used to what? Drink a lot. They drink a lot. I know that. I don't do it, but people do that a lot of the times, right? A lot of the times. So nice. What a beautiful day is today. Praise God, 100%. What do you think is going to happen with Japan's rate hike? Look, sometimes that rate hike makes us go higher. Sometimes it drops us down to our knees. So I'm okay with whatever, bro. I'm okay with, I'm not really too concerned. Let's put it that way. Trump welcomes Ireland's prime minister to the White House. It's coming at any time right now. We're watching the feed. So very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. So tomorrow, guys, we'll be here very early, bright and early. Tomorrow is the big one. So tomorrow, tell everybody that we're going to be here for you. Treasury is set to buy back $15 billion in debt today. Yeah, that's a lot of money, huh? That's a lot of money, fam. That I can tell you. And right now we have the financial services GOP talking about a few other things. Good stuff. Good stuff. Prices are doing decent. Stocks are doing decent. So far, I mean, we're not collapsing. So I think for me, I will take that anytime right now. Anytime. Of course, if you're traveling, watch out. Because the lines are huge. And I personally don't want to see airports right now. Trump was speaking from the Oval Office yesterday as well, with the vice president. So that's pretty nice. I wasn't able to go live. So tomorrow, the SEC Chair Paul Atkins, and also today, basically, they're going to talk about the DC Blockchain Summit. So it's going to be really nice. It might be happening right now. I'm not sure, but let me take a look at this one. As always, Cynthia Lumen, she's going to be speaking. There it is, Binance.us. Powerful people talking, which makes sense. They really want to, they just want to be at the forefront of
people
all
who
the
support
decisions.
Islamists are typically terrorists. They're people
What
who
do
are
we have here?
jihadis. They are trying to undermine American society. That is inconsistent with the American Constitution, and that is something we need to be on guard about. I think that's what members who are speaking about this, I think that's what they mean. They should be more artful in their language. We love Muslim people. We love peace-loving Muslims. But we do not and cannot countenance Islamists. That's the distinction.
Should there be consequences, though, for that language?
I have a question. That's why I wanted to do my video.
Okay. AP News decided to... Okay, we're now on the floor. We're on the floor, fam. Someone pick us up. Pick us up. Brother, the rug is really beautiful, but don't rug us. Don't rug us, please. Okay, there you go. That's better. That's better. Crazy stuff. Small steps every single day, 100%, brother. You gotta know it. Tell him, Oscar. Not good walking away, not answering. Interesting. I mean, he was just speaking to the press, bro. A couple minutes ago, he was speaking. He was giving the GOP morning briefing with all the members. So, I mean, the guy is busy. Is the Speaker of the House. Come on, bro. I mean, bottom confirm. Hey, Coin Baron, bro. That's true. That's true. I think everybody, I mean, at this point, we're just ready, man, to actually see major recovery, right? I mean, yeah, great for more ETFs and great for more whales becoming richer, because whales are just unstoppable. Whales are not going to stop for us, okay? Whales can buy any senator, any congressman and woman. They have the money. It's like, you know what? I need 5 people to pass this policy or to pass this rule or whatever. How much money do you want? And they give him millions of dollars. That's one of the reasons. That's how they make so much money. Like, you're not going to become a multimillionaire as a congressman on a $170,000 annual salary. It's just the way it is. I mean, I totally understand. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, it's like, okay, you want to get rich? Sure, just say yes to whatever. Big pharma, the gun lobby, military, banks. I mean, I'm never going to run for Congress. I mean, when I become a U.S. citizen, that'll be an honor and a privilege. But I don't really want to work for the government. But kind of like just get to Congress and start racking those, bills. One of the reasons that Donald J. Trump won in the first place, because he was like, I'm not taking any money from anybody. That was 2015, 2016 Donald Trump. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. But now, for the ballroom, he's receiving money from Ripple, Coinbase, all the donors, like, not for him, but for the ballroom, just to give you kind of like a perspective, basically. Oscar is our whale here. Every little pump he got new millions. My brother. I don't think so, but hey, I appreciate that. I'm from Finland. Tomorrow is going. I'm going to buy more XRP. Ripple Foundations. Thanks for mentioning and support. Of course. Thank you, guys. My pleasure. My pleasure. Always good. Why am I getting a lot of spam calls? I don't get it, guys. Thank you, guys. Big shout out to the Ripple and to all the Ripple and the XRP army. We are absolutely ready, locked and ready for more. Look at this guy. Eyes coming for Oscar. Well, it's kind of hot here, so I actually would appreciate a big, nice, ice cold lemonade. So if that's what you're referring to, please, I'm down. Where's all my asset miners bros? I'm right here, brother. I'm right here. In about 2 hours, I'm going to get my asset paycheck. So, you know, I like quiet, calm, silent ways of making money. And I found one. It's working. That's it, right? So, yeah. Doesn't really require much other than that. That's all it is. That's all it is. Over 1.3, what is that? 100,000 billion dollars in crypto shorts will be liquidated if Bitcoin rises 3,000 from current price. Huh. Well, get him, bears. Get him. Get him. I'm okay. I stake me because they have AC in the car. Oh my goodness. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Axe. Appreciate that a lot, brother. Welcome. I got 50 slots along from 500X from 120, 135, being a wild 48 hours. Jason, what's up, buddy? Welcome. Ripple Foundations. You're quickly becoming someone that a lot of people are going to remember right here because your name and your check mark, it's easy for everybody to see. So appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Although we probably know you're not the actual Ripple company, right? Which makes sense. But hey, we welcome everybody, and of course, enjoy, right? Enjoy. Even if we're not pumping right now, we're still here chilling. You know, there's so many things, bro. So many things that are exciting about the market right now. What is this?
It's crazy. It's corruption, plain and simple. Why are companies being paid millions of dollars in no-bid contracts? Who's getting the kickbacks? Because you know what's happening. These people should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. And you need to remember this come election day.
It's crazy, he said. And he's talking about millions in no-bid contracts, and we're supposed to trust the system. Oh, he's running again. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't know that. He's running again. He really wants to get her out. Bro, you know how bullish, bro. You know how bullish it will be for XRP if John wins in Massachusetts? You know who owns Massachusetts right now. You know who is under Elizabeth Warren's control. The one and only. She has too much power. Like, she has a lot of influence. She has so much money, bro. So much money.
Get this. 80-year-old U.S. Senator Ed Markey has said he's seeking another term, as if 50 years in Washington wasn't enough. Let me put it this way. I'm 57 years old, and I'm not a young man by any standard. But when Ed Markey first went to Washington, I was 9. The Red Sox were cursed, and tickets at Fenway were $1.25. If Ed Markey wins re-election, he will be 86 years old, still in office.
He's not running against her. He's running against the other person. Massachusetts. Sorry for my misspelling. Senators. There you go. Okay, he ran against her and he lost. Now he's running against this guy. Yeah, okay. So like 2 years ago, he lost against Warren. Now he's running against him. Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. How old is he? 79? 79? Brother. You see? Bro, how much do you think is his boat is worth? Bro. I mean, he can say, my boat for you is $5 million. Take it or leave it. Wow. Well, John, we'll be watching. I'll be watching. I mean, I want you to win, of course. Yeah, bro, but Donald Trump is a different human. It's not the same thing being a senator and a president, of course. I know Trump is 79. Of course I know that. But Trump is not the same as a senator, bro. I mean, Trump is the legend Trump. If the banks bought her, they have enough money to buy him. I won't forget the trick he did with his book on Twitter. Once they get in politics, you don't really know what's going to happen, right? I understand that they're all humans and they all have agendas, right? I mean, I'm not going to say that a politician is perfect. No one is. But hey, choose your worst, Drop a like, everybody. Consider subscribing, and welcome to all the 700 people watching us right now with us, Oscar Live. We're about to watch it, and I decided to wait for this. Like, I'm 20 minutes early. It was supposed to start at 10:45 East. Now it's 11:14 East. So, yeah, I mean, I knew it. I know my person. Trump always late. It's okay. We like him. We still like him. But he's always late. He's having a shot, with the Ireland Prime Minister. Who knows? He's drinking something right now. Well, I mean, sorry. No. He never drinks. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink. That's true. Big shout out to Diablo in the house. So happy to see you, bro. Welcome. We're going to go to infinity and beyond, 100%. Trump hasn't been in D.C. for 50 years. Big difference. PayPal officially enables stablecoin access in 70 countries. I like that. Nice. The CFTC, crypto capital of the world, clear rules of the role for software developers are critical. As I was telling you yesterday, we're just building the foundation, right, for the incoming biggest altcoin season in our lifetime. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he's going to have a lot to say tomorrow, I hope. Like always, he's not going to say anything, and it's going to be super boring, and we're going to be like, dude, please.
On the Save America Act, a package of common sense measures united around two themes: protecting our elections.
So Donald J. Trump hosting, I believe today, one of the most important and consequential pieces of legislation in the history of Congress and America itself. No more rigged elections, voter ID, proof of citizenship, no rigged mail-in voting, no men's and women's sport, no transgender mutilation. Our children, 90 to 99% issues, all only sick, demented, or deranged people in the House or Senate could vote against. So, yeah. This one should pass with no problem. It should pass. And once we have the Save America Act in the finish line, home run, touchdown, once it's signed, right? At that moment, Donald J. Trump is not going to hear a voice from Tim Scott and Cynthia Lumen say, hey, Donnie, get on the Clarity Act now. Get on the Clarity Act. We need to pass it now, right? We need to pass it as soon as possible. We first need this, and then we're going to get Clarity Act. That's the way it's going to work. It's the way it's going to work. Matt Graham says Powell better freaking cut rates. Not going to happen, Matt. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it is not going to happen. If there's one thing I've learned is that Jerome Powell never does what we want, right? It's just the way it is. So my standards have dropped big time. Big time. Here's what we need to get done. Save America Act, FOMC pause, government shutdown over, war done, and Clarity Act. Well, we need FOMC cut, not pause. Cut, right? A pause, we're gonna get a pause tomorrow, but we need cuts. Once we get the cuts, oh, we're in. We're in. Dude, it's green. Color the water green. Green, money green. Money green. I'm excited for that. Time will tell. Of course, time will tell. Yeah. Bernard, good morning, bro. Welcome. Good news, bad news, don't matter. We're all in. Of course we're all in, bro. Of course we're all in. Let me show you something, bro. I'm doing this. What do you want? NVIDIA. Let's do NVIDIA stock. I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. 2000, okay, let's go 1999. 04 cents. In 1999, it was 3 years after the Telecommunications Act, and one NVIDIA stock was worth 4 cents. 17 cents in 2020. 17 cents. So that was about 4 years after the Telecommunications Act, right, of 1996, that helped propel a bunch of these companies, social media, internet, what have you. Now, Amazon goes all the way back to 1997. So a year later, 1 year later of the Telecommunications Act, 9 cents, 18 cents, 20 cents, and in 2020, in 2000, it was $2. Now, obviously, NVIDIA and Amazon, I'm sure they've done stock splits. For those who don't know what's stock split, you can Google it, right? But basically, it's you split the stock, right? Because it's so high in price, you do it so more participants can come in and buy it at a reasonable price. Amazon did it. Alphabet did it because they went all the way to 2,000, 3,000 or so. Obviously, it was impossible for some people to buy it at that price. So they stock split it. If you had one Amazon stock worth $3,000, now if they did a 1 to 5, 1 to 8, 1 to 3, now you're gonna have 5 shares of Amazon still worth $3,000. That's what it means. But just divided by 5. That's what it is. So yeah, I mean, bro, we are about to pass the Clarity Act. It might not happen all of a sudden, but in due time, we are gonna have a rally that we've never seen before. What about Microsoft? Microsoft, I don't want this news. Well, Microsoft actually goes back 1986. Wow, it's old, bro. So in 1996, when it passed that, it went from $5 and immediately started pumping right after that. Then, of course, .com bubble, and then came down crashing, but not much. And then after that, it was 30s, 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 40s, 30s, and then absolutely destruction. It was all the way up. So I think in 2020 was really when most of the sorry about that. Most of the internet companies really exploded, bro. So huge, so nice. And that is what we're waiting for crypto. We are not there yet, guys. We're not there yet. We're just not there yet. Go back to NVIDIA, right? 1999 NVIDIA. Now, Oscar, why do you compare stocks to crypto? Well, I'm comparing some of the top stocks with some of the top crypto. I'm not going to say, oh, that's going to happen to Shiba Inu. That's not going to happen to, a super scammy meme coin, right? But XRP at the caliber that we have within Ripple, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, I'm honestly hoping, and I'm betting, and I'm thinking, and I'm planning that we are going to have a beautiful rally somewhere along the lines of this. And at that moment, guess who's going to take some profits? Yep. So that's a comparison that I've been having, for a while. And I like it. Ripple XRP announces expansion in Brazil with cross-border payments, digital asset custody, RUSD stablecoin, and BSAP BASP license application. Perfect. Just keep building, brother. Just keep building. Just keep putting it ahead. Plus, we haven't even talked about tokenization, bro. It's like one of the things that is going to help us rally to new heights is going to be tokenization. Tokenization and blockchain technologies enablement of real-time payments, greater transparency, and financial inclusion are all signals the rise of new global payments paradigm. This initiative is a great step forward in the direction, and we are thrilled to take part in this joint industry effort. Tokenization, bro. It is a phrase that it's been around for a while now in the crypto industry, but believe me, go to your neighbor. He's not going to know. They're not going to know at all. So it just comes to show how early you are if you're here listening to me. Tokenization. Oh, we got a brand new truth. Let me take a look at this. 6 minutes ago, the United States. All right, let's listen up. Let's listen up and read this. The United States has been informed by most of our NATO allies, in quotes. Guys, this is breaking post by Donald J. Trump. So let's take a look at this. That they don't want to get involved with our military operation against the terrorist regime of Iran. So what we've been hearing for the last couple of days, it is now a fact, right? I mean, that's what's going on so far. In the Middle East, this despite the fact that almost every country strongly agreed with what we're doing and that Iran cannot in any way, shape, or form be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I am not surprised by their action. However, because I always consider NATO, where we spend hundreds of billions of dollars per year protecting the same countries, to be a one-way street. We will protect them, but they will do nothing for us in a time of need. Fortunately, we have decimated Iran's military. Their navy is gone, their air force is gone, their anti-aircraft and radar is gone, and perhaps most importantly, their leaders at virtually every level are gone, never to threaten us, our Middle East allies, or the world again. Because of the fact that we have such military success, we no longer need or desire the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia, or South Korea. In fact, speaking as President of the United States of America, by far the most powerful country anywhere in the world, we do not need the help of anyone. Okay. And that is why yours truly is live, ready to listen to not only Trump. You see that? You see? Because Trump is basically saying, you know, whatever, we don't need you. Whatever, we don't need you. Trump will stay quiet on crypto until America 2050 event. They're partnered with Hedera. Nice. Oscar all-time high. I mean, if you go over 365, so far it hasn't happened yet. We keep going down slowly. Even if it goes up 330, still not all-time high. This is a crypto channel or a Trump channel? This is a crypto channel. But if you don't understand how Trump affects crypto, then, well, gotta continue doing your due diligence for sure. Plus, I just love this whole situation, bro. I mean, it's a situationship, right? We can really go much higher than the level we have right now, but it's just like you said, everybody's distracted, you know? Everybody's distracted. Trump control crypto, it is a channel for both. It's just tariffs, wars, and other type of policy preferences, right? It's what's not, in a way, letting crypto rally in our day-to-day, basically. But it's okay. I mean, we just gotta continue, you know, either holding the line, trading, you know, the good stuff. There's not much we can do other than, I said, buy the dip, buy the XRP dip, you know, before it's too late, because we're going to go higher. That's what I believe. That's us. That was my dreamy vacuum. Keep that XRP safe and clean, everybody. Keep that XRP safe and clean. It's so good. I'm sure some of you own one of those. It's really nice. So where's Trump, dude? Bro, I was late, and I mean, I knew that this guy was gonna come late, but wow. Okay. I guess in due time he's gonna come. Man, they always do that, bro. They always do that. It's crazy, bro. Oh my goodness. So late. It is what it is. Your vacuum is spying on you, Oscar. It's okay. I don't mind. The government already knows everything. I don't mind someone else. Don't distract it from the fact that you can buy Crow. Oh, CRO, of course. Of course. 100%. President Trump says the United States no longer needs NATO. Well, what could happen is that at some point, maybe he would say, you know what, we're leaving NATO, although I hope he never does that, right? I mean, I don't think that's a smart choice, just leaving NATO, but what do you think, bro? What do you think? Oscar, my guy. I'm in IT tech that works, you know, network cybersecurity. Pretty nice. Study XRP Ripple for the past 6 years. Seen the proof of concept and the test networks. It is real and it will take place. Get excited. Cruise 3000, my man. So happy that we have you here, bro. Yeah, we're locked in and ready. We're locked in and ready, and we got our XRP safe and sound, and well, we're not really leaving until eventually we have a beautiful price that we can take profits and then just call it a day for a while and then buy the dip, slowly but surely, little by little, little by little. It's a daily battle. Tired of waiting. What? 30-year mortgage rate jumps 6.86, the highest. Oh, man. I want that rate to go down, not up. 89% of MAGA supports President Trump's campaign in Iran, per CNN. Trump blasts NATO. So I think the European Union, if you go back to what happened with Greenland, right? Everybody was against it. And I think right now, to all my European friends watching, if I put myself in your shoes, I think I will be like, well, Trump doesn't really want to make friends anymore. It's like this guy is acting like he can do anything he wants, right? The facts are he can do everything he wants. I mean, I know it sounds terrible maybe, but it's just the way it is. I mean, that's what happens when you grow as an economy and you become a superpower. Like you can do what you're allowed, right? I mean, so in this case, we have Trump, and it doesn't seem that he really wants to give out control, and he has to stop Iran with the nuclear weapons. He stopped Venezuela. What about Mexico, right? Because he said he's not happy with Mexico, and he hasn't invited the Mexican president to the White House, actually, which is a very short trip. It's an easy trip. It's a fancy, super quick trip. But he hasn't done that, and there's a reason why, I'm sure. So yeah, it's it is the way it is. Remember this: when they ask for help, America needs none. When it's Papa Trump, I just want to confess my sins. Oh my goodness. Oscar, I think by the end of the year, you will wear Lambo glasses and will hit at all-time high. I have my Lambo glasses right there, but we're going to be fine. We're just going to be, you just got to wait it out, wait it out a little longer, and a little longer. Big win for self-custody. CFTC gives green light to Phantom. Ooh. Raise your hand if you like Phantom Wallet. I love Phantom Wallet. I love it. And I also like Trust Wallet too. Those are my two favorite wallets. Yeah. Phantom Wallet, Trust Wallet. They go so fast, so nice, so secure. I love them. And guess what? You are the one responsible for its protection. Oh, what happened? Someone hacked me, but I connected my wallet to this site that was a little sketchy. Your problem. Oh, I lost access because I lost the paper. Your problem. We need more of that. You did something dumb. Your problem. Blame it to yourself. That's how people grow nowadays. Well, that's how people should grow nowadays, but it's not the case anymore. They just always find someone to blame. Yeah, it's your problem. You mess up with your wallets and you don't have something like this. I'm not going to flip it, right? But behind this, there are codes, right? I mean, your problem. It's the way it is. Bear market, bull market, doesn't matter. If you have long-term view, XRP will double digits in 5 years. Nice. When Clarity Act happens, Trump will work on no tax on crypto. I hope that happens. Trust Wallet. I like Trust Wallet. It's pretty good. Look at the name of this guy. I told you, Oscar XRP. I love that. Someone is salty. Someone is salty, bro. Also, XRP is down a ton because no one listened. Zoom out, beautiful. Zoom out. Some people are too emotional nowadays. Okay, I guess they are either coming later or I'm not sure when they're coming, bro, but it was supposed to happen now. Okay, there you go. Now it's soon happening. They changed that. Okay, there you go. It's now happening so soon, guys. Okay, it's coming up. It's coming up soon now. I was like, what's going on? White House. Are they live? They're not live. But I think it's coming soon now. It takes a while. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Expectation of timeline on this, because with every passing day, with every passing week, now we're in the third week, markets going up, fertilizers, gas, everything. And the world is really worried about shortages and also the inflationary effect here and abroad.
Yep, Brent, can we just be clear here?
Okay.
It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. And, you know, I know the media likes to move things along. We see these headlines, and that's part of the Iranian strategy. And it's very unfortunate that because of a dislike for President Trump, not you, but a lot of mainstream media are trying to speed this up, trying to make it into some crisis that it's not. And on the other side of this, if you look at longer dated crude, you look at future inflation expectations, they're both very well anchored. And you know, this will end. And I don't know how many weeks it will be, but on the other side of this, the world will be safer and we will be better supplied.
So the backwardation of the market, you think, is correct? $80 oil in a couple months?
I think probably much lower.
Much lower, and we're gonna make bank, bro, at the gas station. Come on, we want that to happen. What is this?
Okay, MAGA GOP on the U.S. military action in Iran. Look at this. Nearly 9 in 10, 89% approve of the U.S. military action in Iran. That is the MAGA GOP base. Just 9% disapprove of it. This is tremendously popular among the Republican base. And of course, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, overseeing the effort. It seems to me that a lot of people are taking that into account, including President Donald Trump, who has been smiling an awful lot at Marco Rubio lately. Okay, MAGA GOP on the...
Very good, very good.
And I'll take a few questions. Yeah, from well, that's not a green tie. Never mind. Over here. Go over here. Come on. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the president has said that the Save America Act is his #1 priority.
Yeah.
Man, the audio sucks. Macron says France is not party to the conflict and will not take part of the operations. So Europe is basically saying, no. No, we're not going to go in. Building the future one Bitcoin at a time. Bitcoin miners. Anybody here's a Bitcoin miner? Because guess what? The Trump family already owns a bunch of them. Oh, yeah, they do. They're making a bunch of money right now. Wealthy, making wealth right now. So much right now. UAE says 10 missiles, 45 drones target country on March 17. And that's the reason why they canceled Token 2049, which makes sense, you know. So my friends in the UAE, stay safe. Stay safe.
We need U.S. guardrails, the type of guardrails that clearly delineate between commodities and securities, that clearly delineate between traditional banking and non-traditional banking. The rules of the road have to be clarified for the security of our, by the way, of our financial institutions. That they're not unimportant in this debate, obviously. We have a wonderful legacy of diverse financial institutions, from credit unions and community banks all the way to the big ones. And so we need to look out for that. But we also, though, cannot allow digital assets and digital industry to...
XRP, my man. Trillions in crypto capital hinge on Clarity Act. Clarity Act could unleash $5 trillion in sideline capital into crypto markets, but it's stuck in congressional limbo. Prediction markets signal a 72% likelihood of passage by mid-2026, marking it as a game changer for blockchain growth. Oh, yes. You wonder why I'm so extremely bullish? That's why. I don't care what happens with the price as long as I have enough crypto before it passes. That's it. That's it. Clarity Act will pass this year, and we're going to make a lot of money, fam. We're going to make a lot of money for those who are willing to prepare, and that's it. It's just so easy. It's really, really very easy, you know, now. It's just, it's the race. I mean, we just got to wait it out, and that's it. It should pass with no problem. And I wonder, right? I mean, Trump has to get out of Iran before the midterm elections. That's a must. That's a must. If he fails to get out of Iran before the elections, that is not going to be good. And that could jeopardize more of the decisions coming up. Yeah. I'm going to leave it as simple as that, guys. He needs to get out of Iran by latest June. Latest mid-May will be great. I mean, because I'm not even thinking that he's going to get out of Iran by the end of the month. I think that will be, you know, a dream. But he gotta get out. He has to get out like quickly. So the media cannot use that for ongoing events while the elections are happening.
So the real action is going to be, this will be the first time we get to hear from the Fed, John, in terms of their response to the Iran war and the oil shock. As you mentioned, no change to policy expected, but they're going to put out new forecasts that are expected to show an increase in their outlook for inflation. That will be interesting. And at the same time, they're going to nudge down, or expected to nudge down, their outlook for growth. So then when you consider the fact that we're at that point where hawks are really in control of the FOMC committee at the moment, those ones who are more worried about inflation than anything else. When you consider that weak February employment number and the fact that there are those warning $100 a barrel oil will eventually, once you look through it, become a tax on consumers and business and will impact growth, then I think what we could see on Wednesday is the start or the beginning of the Fed debate around how will they respond to that Iran oil shock, and will it ultimately result in rate cuts, and will they, of course, start to use the word transitory again?
And do we have an appreciation for where inflation is right now? And the reason I raise that question is because many people in the economics industry were looking at the PCE data on Friday into the weekend, and were focused on the methodology that was used for certain indicators, certain readings on things like legal fees. What's your takeaway of what's going on at the moment?
I think, look, inflation remains above the Fed's target. It's certainly a core PCE, their own preferred gauge, is still beyond, their comfort zone. But, John, it's broadly, what I'll say, stable, perhaps. By component, there's certainly different signals being given off. For example, the goods sector, we saw in those numbers last week, the inflation story there is still somewhat mixed. But the service side of things, you look at the insurance sector, you look at periodically cost linked to education, tuition, healthcare and the like. There's clearly parts of the economy where inflation is real, sticky and persistent. And that's why the hawks on the FOMC are in control at the moment. And that's why we had several at the last Fed meeting warning that at some point they may need to start talking about hikes. Now, I think this Iran shock might put a different hue on the debate at the Fed. I'm not necessarily sure if the Fed will be talking about hikes near term. It's probably going to be more of a story of looking through that. But there's no doubt about it in terms of the Fed getting back to its inflation target. I mean, that remains a long way off for now.
No one knows what he's going to say. No one knows. But I mean, we're expecting him to address a bunch of things, right? A bunch. The war, tariffs, the economy, oil. I mean, there's a lot to say for the FOMC. Trump says United States asked China to delay the meeting a month or so due to the Iranian war, which makes sense, you know.
We need U.S. guardrails, the type of guardrails that...
Yep, and it's coming up, those U.S. guardrails. I'm excited. Finally. Everybody, welcome. Enjoy.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to have Taoiseach Martin from Ireland, and somebody that we know, we get along with. We've had a very good relationship, and we continue, and we're going to have some big discussions today concerning trade, concerning lots of different subjects. We have a tremendous trade relationship with Ireland, and we'll keep it that way. I think it's going to be expanded very greatly. Probably they want to talk a little bit about tariffs, but I won't mention that. You know, we won't bring that up. But you might want to be discussing that a little bit. But it's an honor to have you, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
And may I thank you, President, for facilitating this visit, and in what is for us probably one of the most important weeks in the United States. And in many ways, you're affirming the tremendous bonds between Ireland and the United States that go back to the very foundation of this republic. And 35 million people in this country claim Irish descent and Irish heritage. And I spent the first 2 days in Philadelphia, going back really into the heart of that history, and the fact that 3 Irish people born on the island of Ireland signed the Declaration of Independence. It was printed by an Irishman, John Dunlap, and disseminated across the colonies. And Charles Thompson, who was discussed earlier, he designed the bald eagle, the seal of the US. So in many ways, our connection is foundational, it's historic. And the Irish helped to build America. We're very proud of that connection. And we think you hosting us here in the White House is affirmation to all the Irish Americans out there and to our diaspora in this country for what they've contributed to America. And that's very much through the prism this year, the America 250. It's a very exciting year. And we're discovering new things. I mean, even a guy from my own city, a guy called Stephen Moylan, who was an aide-de-camp to Washington, he's regarded as the guy who came up with the phrase, the United States of America. First written record, and it's in New York in the history of those bonds.
Well, you told me something before that was maybe the most interesting of all. How many presidents are in some way related through blood with Ireland?
23.
Can you believe it?
23 Irish presidents.
They're great politicians. Yeah. The Irish are great politicians.
Absolutely.
No, but think of it. 23 are in some form, and many of them have gone to Ireland.
Absolutely.
Grant
went to Ireland after his presidency. I was saying earlier, Ronald Reagan's visit was an extraordinary one in a place called Ballyporeen in County Tipperary. And of course, John F. Kennedy, whose grandfather was Irish, came back, I think, early '63. And that's a very memorable visit because of what tragedy that happened subsequently in the assassination, which touched people in Ireland very deeply. So the Kennedy family is strong. Resonation with Ireland.
Well, we like the family too. Yeah. One person in particular, one very non-controversial.
I know that.
But now he's doing a very good job. Though. He really is. But we have more, I think, people here by far than you have in Ireland that are of Irish descent. We have. So you have quite a few, but we have a lot.
You have a lot more than we have. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing by a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. It's a great honor. And any questions?
Mr. President, Ireland in September, and will you stay at Tuesday?
Well, I'm having, it's a great thing, my son and my family. We have a great golf complex in Ireland, one of the best in the world, called Doonbeg. It's in Doonbeg. And it's been amazing, and Rory McIlroy loves it. They all love it. Great golfers. You have a tremendous golf tradition, and it was chosen for the Irish Open, which is a big deal. That's a big event.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
Everybody wants me to be there. You just said, I hope you're going to go.
I did.
And we're going to try. We are going to try, but it would be an honor. But it was a great honor to be chosen. They only choose the best courses in the world for the big opens. It's one of the big ones, the Irish Open. It's really become one of the most important tournaments in the world. I hear it's going to be a fantastic success.
It'll be a great success.
Yeah. It's a very hard course.
Mr. President, what progress have you made, Mr. President, in getting America's allies to assist the U.S. in escorting those oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually. In fact, we just put out a notice. I was watching over the last couple of weeks, and all of our NATO allies were very much in favor of what we did. They thought it was very important. We were just discussing it, actually. Very important that we take out the nuclear threat from Iran, and we've done that very strongly, very powerfully. We've wiped out their Navy, wiped out their military in every aspect. Their Air Force is now decimated. They have no Air Force, no Navy. They have no radar. Their radar is entirely gone. Their anti-aircraft machinery is gone. Everything is gone. Their leaders are gone. I guess one of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday, along with somebody else who was responsible for the killing. The man that was responsible for the killing of 32,000 people over the last 2 weeks, he was in charge of the killing of protesters. It's an evil group. I mean, they've killed much more than 32,000 people. And the man who was responsible for that was also killed yesterday. And all of the NATO allies agreed with us. But they don't want to, despite the fact that we help them so much, we have thousands of soldiers in different countries all over the world. And they don't want to help us, which is amazing. I mean, amazing. And I didn't do a full court press. Because I think if I did, they probably would be. But we don't need help. That war has been long prosecuted, as far as I'm concerned, almost from day one. We knocked out many of these things. We knocked out the Navy essentially in a couple of days. But I was surprised to see that NATO, while they agree that it was a very important thing to do, they agree fully. Nobody said, "Oh, you shouldn't do it." They would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month of when we had the B-2 bombers bomb the nuclear potential. I call it the nuclear dust. So I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake. And I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there. The other thing is, and I think, very important, we didn't have to be there for Ukraine. Biden chose to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine. And I guess the head of Germany just made a statement that, they weren't involved and they have nothing to do with the war. But at the same time, they think we did a great thing by knocking them out. Nobody wants to have Iran, or anybody, but nobody wants to have Iran with a nuclear, because these people are crazy. They're absolutely crazy, and they're vicious, violent. I mean, they kill, think of it. They killed, now I hear it's about 41,000 people. They put out a notice 2 days ago. Anybody that protests will be immediately shot and killed. That's pretty tough stuff. So everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that, because we think it's pretty shocking.
President Macron has just said in the last hour that he will never join a task force in the Strait of Hormuz until hostilities finish. Yesterday you said...
Who said that? Who said?
President Macron of France. What's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, he'll be out of office very soon, so we'll have to see. I don't know.
Mr. President, on Doonbeg, you're building an extension to it at the moment, but there's been an objection put in, and it's being held back at the moment due to small snails. What are you disappointed about that?
No, the Planning Commission is.
I have not heard that. No.
Mr. President.
I mean, the course was built and it's been operated very successfully. Somebody's objecting. Human and environmental group is objecting to.
Mr. President.
How close the EU is to announce a coalition of willing to secure the Strait of Hormuz? Which countries are joining and which countries have...
Well, we've had great support from the Middle East. Qatar has been great. UAE has been great. Saudi Arabia has been terrific. Bahrain has been very good. The Middle Eastern countries have been very strong in their support. And of course, Israel has been our partner. Israel's been very, very strong, along with our operation. Against Iran. If you look back ago, I talked about Iran was a big threat to this country, to this world. It turned out to be.
Fox is having issues with the.
In fact,
even Fox having issues there.
I said you have to attack Karg Island. You have to attack them years ago when they were acting up. They've been acting up for 37, 47, I guess now 48 years. For 48 years, they've been bad players, vicious players, and you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. If they got a nuclear weapon, I would say they would have used it within 24 hours after having it. And they would have had it if we didn't bomb them out from that great raid with the B-2 bombers 8 months ago or so. You would have had a nuclear war in the Middle East and maybe beyond. I think it would have hit Europe. Maybe not Ireland, but it would have hit Europe. I think you would have been a nice piece of it. It all gets you. It's big enough that you would have been affected. They would have hit Europe eventually.
Mr. President, your Director of National Counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that presidents should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if, I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when they sent Boeing 757s over there, loaded with cash, hundreds of millions of dollars? You would have been very happy. This was a wonderful, they said hundreds of millions. People forget that. Does anybody remember? Right? You remember. Hundreds of millions of dollars in a Boeing 757. I think they had two of them loaded. They took the seats out and they put cash. And it was so much that there wasn't a bank in Virginia, Maryland, or D.C. that had any money left. They stripped them of all their money, put it into place, sent it to Iran, almost as ransom. That's not going to happen with Trump. And nobody ever did anything about it. Nobody ever said anything about it. Can you imagine if I did that? So they've been a threat for a long time. But they've really been a threat. If I didn't terminate Obama's horrible deal that he made, the Iran nuclear deal, you would have had a nuclear war 4 years ago. You would have had nuclear holocaust, and you would have had it again if we didn't bomb the site. So when somebody is working with us that says they didn't think Iran was a threat, we don't want those people, because, and there are some people, I guess I would say that, but they're not smart people or they're not savvy people. Iran was a tremendous threat. And virtually every NATO nation, and this is the thing, if they told me it wasn't a threat, and therefore they don't want to help. But when they say it was a threat, and it was a major threat, every one of them, I think every one of them, I don't know of one that said they're not a threat, but when they say it was a threat, but we're not going to help, I think they're very foolish. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting because I could say this, that what's happening in Ukraine, we're probably in there for $400 billion. We don't spend any money anymore. They buy it from us and they pay full price. But Biden gave them between $350 and $400 billion of equipment in cash. Someday they'll have to find out about the cash. And you could say that wasn't a threat, you know, we're helping them. So we helped them, and they didn't help us, and I think that's a very bad thing for NATO.
Mr. President. Are there any repercussions for NATO, and are you still going to China?
Well, yeah, on China, it's a little different story. We're resetting the meeting, and it looks like it'll take place in about 5 weeks. We're working with China. They were fine with it. We're going to say, I look forward to seeing President Xi. He looks forward to seeing me, I think. But I do look forward to seeing him. We have a good relationship with China. China actually has become economically for us very good, as you know. It's much different than it was in the past. And we have a very good working relationship with China. So we're making it in about 5 or 6 weeks.
Mr. President. NATO for not supporting you on this. Any repercussions?
Well, no, I just think that it's not good for a partnership when they say what you're doing is a great thing, but we're not going to help. You know, they say what you did is a great thing, but we're not going to help.
Mr. President, in Iran, because the Iranian regime has told Sky News, if you put boots on the ground in Iran, it will be another Vietnam. Are you afraid of that?
No, I'm not afraid of. I'm really not afraid of anything.
Mr. President, are you rethinking the United States' relationship with NATO possibly getting out?
Well, I'm disappointed in NATO that we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help us, I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. I don't need Congress for that decision, as you probably know. I can make that decision myself. I'd work with some very smart people, and I'd always deal with Congress anyway. But I don't need Congress for that decision. But you know, when you say rethink, I have nothing currently in mind. But I will say that I'm not exactly thrilled when we help them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in 1 day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment, given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world, no charge. I will say that I'm not happy about it.
Mr. President, relationship with questions, one on Iran and one on Cuba. Is Iran now a bigger foreign policy priority for you than China? And on Cuba, the Cuban government.
Iran is just a military operation to me. Iran is something that was essentially largely over in 2 or 3 days because the Navy was wiped out almost immediately. The Air Force came next. The anti-aircraft came next. I mean, we're flying over Iran. We could take out their electric capacity in 1 hour. We have all there's nothing they can do right now because everything is knocked out. They have no radar, no anti-aircraft. They have nothing. And we don't, and it was a decision I made. We discussed it, Pete, Marco, JD, all of us, Chris. We discussed it. We can knock out their electricity in a matter of minutes if we wanted to. There's nothing they can do about it. We can knock out their oil in Carg Island. The only thing we didn't take down was their oil because if we knock out, I call them the pipes, very complex. But if you do that, it'll take them forever to rebuild, meaning whoever, and hopefully it's a sane group of people, but whoever it is that's going to be running that, and we're going to try to get people that are going to run it well, and it's going to be a prosperous, wonderful place. It used to be, if you go back, it used to be the people are great, the people are smart and energetic, and it used to be very successful. Now it's a country run by fear. It's a country where they tell protesters, don't go outside because if you do, we're going to kill you.
Mr. President.
Well, Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon. We're really focused on this, but we're dealing with Cuba. Marco, do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Yeah, I mean, Cuba has an economy that doesn't work and a political and governmental system they can't fix. It's not dramatic enough. It's not going to fix it. So they've got some big decisions to make over there.
But Secretary Rubio, do you support, and I know this is up to Congress, but do you support easing the trade embargo if you get more cooperation from Havana?
Well, I'm not going to discuss what we would talk about or not. Suffice it to say that the embargo is tied to political change on the island. The embargo is codified. And but the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution. It's not even a revolution. That thing they have has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge. That's what.
And the relationship we have with Venezuela has been, I think you could almost say, incredible. It's been really good. It's been good for Venezuela, and it's been good for us. And I congratulate the Venezuelan baseball team because that was a big win. And I guess they play another game tonight in the finals. This is the first time they've ever been in the finals, and it was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Iran is just a military operation to you. But do you not have a day after plan? And if so, what is your day after plan for Iran?
Well, we have a lot. Look, if we left right now, it would take 10 years for them to rebuild. But we're not ready to leave yet. But we'll be leaving in the near future. We'll be leaving in pretty much the very near future. But right now, they've been decimated from every standpoint. And again, we've had great support from countries in the Middle East, great support. But we've had no support from, essentially, no support from NATO.
Mr. President, what about your relationship with London? Has it been damaged by the fact that Keir Starmer isn't supporting you in this war? And has your opinion of Keir Starmer changed because of this?
Well, he hasn't been supporting the United States. I went out of my way. As you know, they couldn't make a deal with Biden because they had no real administration to make a deal, Biden. But we made a deal. We made a good deal for them, and frankly, probably wasn't appreciated. I do look forward to seeing. But no, I was disappointed because Keir was willing to send 2 aircraft carriers after we won, because essentially there's no threat for the aircraft carriers right now. And I said, no, we want things sent before the war, not after the war is won. So, yeah, I'm disappointed with Keir. I like him. I think he's a nice man, but I'm disappointed.
Mr. President.
You see that man right there? You know who that is?
Churchill.
Winston Churchill. The late, great Winston Churchill. And Barack Hussein Obama did not want his bust in this office. Did you know that? And Barack Hussein Obama sent that bust back to England. They didn't want it. And when I came in, I was asked if I wanted it. I said, absolutely, I want it. And I put it right there, Winston Churchill. And, you know, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
Do you guys Mr. President, it kissed on me.
No, hold it.
Right. Just could I
hold it? Hold it.
Just make a number of points. First of all, I think, notwithstanding what has happened, the transatlantic relationship between Europe and the US is very, very important on a number of fronts. And I think we've had issues over the last year or two, but we settled them. And I think many of these leaders engage with you, particularly on trade initially. Remember all the fuss last year, but we got a landing zone between Europe and the US, and I think we can get a landing zone again. And I think I just met with Keir Starmer last week. The British-Irish relationship is a very important one. Churchill was a great wartime leader, although in Ireland there was kind of a different perspective in terms of during our own war of independence and so on. He created his own bit of difficulties for us. But that said, he was a great wartime hero. Keir Starmer has done a lot to reset the Irish-British relationship. I just want to put that on the record. But I do believe that he's a very earnest, sound person who I think you have a capacity to get on with. You've got on with him before. And you've got on with other European leaders as well. Sure. And I think you have that capacity again. And I think everyone exists. I mean, you cannot have a rogue state with a nuclear weapon or the capacity for a nuclear weapon. Iran was the sponsor of terrorism. We sanctioned Iran. All European countries did as a terror, and the IRGC in particular as a terrorist organization. They sponsored Hamas. They sponsored Hezbollah. The Houthis. They created mayhem, a most maligned force in the Middle East. The Irish position has always been, ultimately, can we resolve this can we get peace? And obviously there's preconditions before you get to that situation. We had our own conflict, which went on for 30 years, and we learned a lot from that in terms of how to try and bring about peace. And I think I've listened to you in terms of, you're correct, I mean, our hearts go to the Iranian people who have been repressed and suppressed for so many years, culminating in that savage murder of thousands and thousands of Iranians some months ago. No one was in a position to do anything about that. I think, and likewise with Ukraine, I mean, the Russians did invade Ukraine, have attacked civilian infrastructure and so on like that. And for the people of Ukraine who just want peace and an opportunity to live, I think we have to continue to work to see, can we bring peace, different regime to Iran where Iranians can live in peace again, and the people in the Middle East can live in peace, and you're doing your bit there in terms of the work in Gaza and so on like that. And I think that's what we want, is a peaceful resolution of conflict. That's where we come from as a small nation. Right. We've been peacekeepers all our lives, and we're the longest serving nation in terms of provision of peacekeeping forces in the world, as it turns out. But we think ultimately all conflicts come to an end, and I think we have to try and work towards that end, and I'm sure European leaders and the US administration will engage, and hopefully we can get a landing zone somewhere.
I mean, the only thing, and I agree with everything you said, but we helped with Ukraine.
Yes.
And they don't help with Iran. And they all acknowledge that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. You yourself say, these are horrendous people. These are the worst people, and going back to Hitler, right? Going back to Hitler, these are the worst people. That's a long time ago, and there's been nothing close. Every problem, so many deaths, 90% of the people that got blown up by landmines, they loved them. Soleimani, we killed him. If we didn't, it might be a different story, because he was a horrible person, but he was a very powerful person and leader, smart. But we killed him. If we didn't, I think you'd have it. I did. But I think we'd have maybe a different situation. It wouldn't have been so easy as it has been, because it has been very easy. It's all of their militaries there, but you can always have somebody drop a mine in the water. It's like terrorism.
Yep.
And then you have the people that own the billion-dollar ship saying, well, let's not move that ship yet because we want. So we thought that Europe would help that, because they do have some minesweepers. But it's amazing that, they all said, what a great job. They would call me congratulating us on the great job we did with respect to Iran, and we knocked the hell out of them. They're no longer the bully of the Middle East. They were known as the bully of the Middle East, and they're not the bully anymore. But you would have thought they would have said, we'd love to send a couple of minesweepers. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cost very much money. But they didn't do that. So, I think it's very unfair to the United States. Not to me, but to the United States. Go ahead, please.
Keir Starmer isn't making...
She's a fantastic reporter, by the way. Go ahead.
Thank you. The Prime Minister isn't making the case to the British public as to why he should be supporting you. Could you do that now and talk to the UK and to GB News viewers about why it's in their interest that we help you?
Well, because we have a tremendous long-term relationship with the UK. I mean, people would say it's the best. I don't want to get into that, but we've had who's the longest, the oldest, should be the best. Always was the best until Keir came along, and I like him. He's a nice man. He says everything beautiful. He's a very nice man with a beautiful family. Everything's perfect, but he doesn't produce. And I think it's very inexpensive. I just said, you don't have to send me aircraft carriers. Send me a couple of minesweepers. We don't need your aircraft carriers. But even the aircraft carriers, he would only send them after we essentially won. I mean, he's sending them when there are no planes left, when the missiles are down to 8%. They have like 8% of the missiles. The rest we demolish the missiles, and the factories, largely the factories are going even as we speak. They just hit another factory. They have a lot of missile factories. They have a lot of drone factories. And so he's, wants to send them when we don't need them. But would like to have minesweepers, because just in case. We don't know that there are any mines down, because we wiped out, I think, 24. They actually have, think of this for a country. They have 24 boats that do nothing but put mines in the water. This doesn't sound like a great country. This doesn't sound like a friendly country. But we killed all of those boats. They're at the bottom of the sea. So we don't even know if there are any mines there. But if there are, we'd like to have a little help in finding them. Probably most importantly.
Would you like to change your mind? Do you have confidence in Keir Starmer? Would you prefer to deal?
Well, it's not for me. It's really for the people of the UK to have confidence.
Of course, but is he?
I've been very critical of Keir, and I did it in a friendly way. I said, if you don't change your energy thing and get away from windmills and go back to oil and gas, and you have something that's no other country has. Very few countries have anything like it, the North Sea. You have some of the greatest oil and oil deposits in the entire world, the North Sea. They don't use it. You buy a lot of your oil from Norway. You know where they get their oil? From the North Sea. And you pay and I tell them, and you have the better part of the North Sea. So why aren't they taking the oil from the North Sea? Why are they buying oil from Norway? But they have windmills all over the country, destroying those gorgeous Scottish fields and those beautiful fields all over the windmills, which don't work. They're tremendously expensive. And the best testament to that is the windmills are made in China, but China doesn't use them. You know what China uses? Coal. They're building 58 coal-fired plants right now, and that's up to them. But these foolish countries that are buying windmills, putting them out of business, I'm proudly telling you that we're going to try and have no windmills built in the United States during my... They're very bad. They're very bad environmentally. They kill the birds. They're unsightly. They make a lot of noise. And for some reason, the environmentalists love windmills, okay?
You say he's a very nice man.
I think he's a nice man. I think he's a nice man, but I disagree with him on two things, primarily. His immigration policy is a disaster, and his energy policy is a disaster. And they're about the biggest policies you can have. You've allowed millions and millions and millions of people to come into your country that shouldn't be there. And by the way, that's all over Europe. Europe is a different place. It's a different place. And I originate, to put it nicely, many of us do, from Europe. I love Europe. I've spent a lot of time in Europe. It's a different place. Bad things have happened to Europe. Very bad things. And you better do something about immigration, and you better do something about energy, or you won't have a Europe.
What's your time frame, Mr. President, for when cargo ships can safely go through the Strait of Hormuz?
It won't be, I don't believe, too long. We're knocking the hell out of the coast. It's basically the coast and the water, and it won't be too long. And the Middle Eastern states, including Israel, by the way, who has been terrific, the Middle Eastern states have been helping us a lot. Go ahead, you.
Mr. President, on fuel prices, what do you have to say to the people in Ireland who are paying sky-high prices because of your war in Iran?
Well, I think the people in Ireland are very happy that I'm getting rid of, I have a lot of friends from Ireland, they're very happy that I'm getting rid of a nuclear power, a nuclear terrorist. And as soon as that war's over, which will be soon, your prices are going to drop like a rock. You watch. I've been very good at predicting. In the back.
Mr. President, what do you think about our president's comments that? What do you think about our president's comments?
Can you speak? You're speaking right into your phone.
Mr. President, how do you respond to the and consulate in the Kurdistan region?
You want to answer that, JD? You want to?
Yeah. The state has control over the embassy. Look, there have been a lot of militia attacks against our base or our embassy in Iran. I think Marco's done a good job of limiting the number of people who are at that embassy so we can provide essential functions but also protect our people. But it goes to show there are a lot of terrorists in that region of the world, and we've got to eliminate them when we find them.
And you can't give them nuclear weapons. You can give them rifles, you can give them guns, you can't give them nuclear weapons. I think we agree very strongly. Yes, excuse me.
Just first of all, I would say like, Europe is still a very good place to live in.
Good.
Just to let you know.
I'm glad to hear that.
And our view is you have to have robust and fair rules around migration. But on the other hand, a lot of people, within the European Union, we have free mobility of people. And in Ireland, our population is growing, but in a very positive way. Our economy is going well because we're attracting a lot of people from Europe and beyond into work legally and validly in our country. In fact, I'd love if we could develop a legal pathway between the US and Ireland into the future because of our history and so on like that, that we could have a legal pathway because no one is in favour of illegal migration or and so forth. So you have to have robust rules for that. But fundamentally, I think sometimes Europe gets characterised wrongly in terms of it being overrun or whatever like that. It's much more robust now. There's much more stronger mechanism in place to facilitate legal migration. I think it's important that understanding is there. We need more economic growth in Europe. It doesn't have the same focus on innovation as you do here in the US. We discussed that earlier with the Vice President in terms of technology, in terms of AI. We need to pivot more to innovation as opposed to regulation. I think investing in people, and that's the key to, I think, our collective future. But we do learn lessons.
Mr. President,
Irish President has said that your war against Iran is illegal. It's an attack on international law.
Who said that?
The Irish President.
Look, he's lucky I exist. That's all I can say. Because if you're going to allow countries that are sick and demented, and they are demented, to have nuclear weapons, everybody in the whole world should be very thankful. And I'm disappointed in NATO, very disappointed. I'm disappointed in a couple of other countries too. But they should be very thankful that this group of people feels the way we do. Because if a country like Iran was allowed to have the power of a nuclear weapon, if we didn't stop them. I stopped them twice. I stopped them my first term when I terminated the Iran nuclear deal, which was Barack Obama's deal. It was maybe the worst deal I've ever seen. It gave everything to Iran, including billions of dollars in green cash. I don't mean cash, I mean green cash flown over by airplanes. I can't to this day believe that was allowed to happen. And come to think of it, it would be a good thing for somebody to look at. Does the president have the power to hand hundreds of millions of dollars of cash to terrorists? But it began with that, and I terminated that deal. If I didn't terminate that deal, we might not be here right now. If I didn't terminate that deal, unbelievable nuclear holocaust would have taken place. And then I did it a second time when we hit them with the B-2 bombers, and we totally obliterated their potential nuclear weapon that they would have had in less than 1 month. They think 2 weeks, but in less than 1 month. And it would have been, I believe it would have been a much different world than it is right now. We have to go, we're going to a lunch, so maybe we'll take one more nice question.
Can I ask you how you're doing with your legal case against the BBC and their fake news documentary?
Well, the BBC was incredible. What they did is they had me speaking something I never said. And I've never seen anything quite like it. CBS had that. We had the situation on 60 Minutes, and not the current owners, the past owners. The current owners, I think, are good, Ellison. But BBC took it a step further. They actually they put words in my mouth, and I said some pretty bad things. And I didn't say them. It was AI generated. And I said, I never said that. In fact, some of my people said, wow, that was pretty bad stuff you said. I said, what did I say? I'm pretty good at this stuff. I mean, if you can go through years of these press conferences and you're a popular president of the United States that won in a landslide, that won all 7 swing states, that got record numbers of votes, I mean, so I guess I'm okay at this stuff. I said, I never said that. And then we found out it was AI generated. And they admit they made a mistake. BBC. But I watched them this morning for some crazy reason, and it was so inaccurate. Their reporting of the war was unbelievable. We have decimated that country. And if you watch BBC, it's almost like they're fighting us to a draw. They're not fighting us to a draw. It was very inaccurate news. It was fake news. So I'm very proud of the term fake news because it was my term. I came up with it, but it's no longer accurate. It really is. It's corrupt, fraudulent news. It really is. It's fraudulent. It's not just fake. It's beyond fake. It's really criminal what they do. But I watched BBC this morning, and I don't know much about BBC other than what took place, because people were calling me saying, that was a terrible thing you said. I said, what did I say? And I said, I never said that. And when we checked it, do you agree? They agree. It was somehow generated, I guess, by AI or something, with me saying unbelievable. So we brought a lawsuit against them. They admit they're guilty, but we'll see how it comes out. Thank you. I like that question. I like that question. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. Keep moving on. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Marco Rubio in the house. JD in the house. Everybody, thank you so much for coming up and spending some time with us. Oscar Live here at your channel. Links down below. Join us. Buy your XRP on BTCC. Get 4,000 XRP. One person is going to win. Lucky winner. Links down below to all my socials, right? Remember, watch out with the scammers, of course. So that's why I put all the links down there. Bitunix as well. Big shout out to all my Bitunix friends. You will see down there the link up to 10,000 welcome bonus. And of course, the one and only iTrustCapital, where you can go ahead and start your crypto retirement and $100 bonus when you sign up with my link down below. Keep you informed later today, fam. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate all my admins as always, really here for us. And the reason why I always like to listen to Trump is because, there's the latest. And when people ask me why the price is down or up, I mean, that's what I use. And there's so much. Tomorrow, we're going to have a big one with the FOMC. And I know you're going to be here with us. Love you guys. And I'm locked in and ready. Blessings, everybody. Let's go. Let's rest. And let's eat because I'm hungry. Peace.